Everybody, what's going on? UltimatDjz here from the Talking Trek podcast, here with another Teaching Trek video for you here tonight. And boy, what a week it has been. An absolute ton of content has been produced by not only our podcast team, but Snake Eyes also here on the YouTube channel. And we invite you to check it out. Visit our website at talkingtrekstfc.online to consume all of it and to find links to your podcast. As a matter of fact, we've got another video. This is a side-by-side video release here, what's actually going on right now. So this video here, what we're going to talk about, we're actually going to talk about burning, what it is, okay? Before we get into it, I would like everybody to subscribe to this channel. We've got all kinds of stuff that comes up all the time, and you need to know about when stuff comes out. So click the little bell notifier, like this video, and leave your comments below. We'll answer your questions as we go along. This video is going to teach you about what burning is, not only what it is now, but what it was before the change. But as I also mentioned, right here on this very same YouTube channel, side by side, released at the exact same time, we've got a brand new video also for you on the burning debate. Hashtag return the burn. What side of the aisle are you on? There's pros and cons to both sides, and we explore those in an actual fact-finding investigation and let you know what we actually found about burning and whether or not it should be in this game. What you're about to hear are some excerpts from our podcast the other night. This is taking some of the actual content of the podcast and condensing it down into a TLDR for you here a little bit, but to give you a little bit of insight. So what you're getting ready to hear is, in some forms, a replay of what we heard on the podcast the other night. Guys, we got a lot to get to tonight. Let's jump right in. Ladies and gentlemen, Return the Burn has been just an absolutely huge thing in the community this past week. Okay, folks, let's begin. All right. This past week, we believe that this happened at some point, like Tuesday evening. Could have happened. It could have even actually happened potentially Wednesday morning. Okay. Not exactly sure when it actually happened, but original testing started. Okay, and you guys will even remember Wednesday before the show. And this was Wednesday afternoon. Before the show, Fisticuffs from the official Discord was talking about doing some testing. He said, listen, I kind of think, you guys will remember, we saw a battle log. And I said, no. I said, don't do anything, all right? We're not talking about it. We're not talking about it until we have definitive information. It literally was happening as we were supposed to go on the air. And somebody had just literally said, listen, my burning's not working. The burning on the Rialta using Giorgio, using GG, it wasn't doing. We didn't see the red smidge. And I said, okay, could be graphical, but we didn't know, and we needed testing, and I wasn't getting good enough information from the official Discord. I couldn't see the battle logs. I couldn't see the crew being used. I couldn't see the proc rates, so we dismissed it. We said, listen, we'll test this later. Well, it wasn't but a few hours later before more testing came in, and we discovered that there was at least something not the same as it was before, okay? And then the very next morning, thankfully, that word just squeaked out of me there. I don't know. The very next morning, we got a message. We got a message from a community manager, Panic. And here's what he wrote, okay? Here's what he wrote. He said, you might have noticed a change with the burning damage done by ships already destroyed. Since ships were taking burning damage even if combat was over, and this was not intended, we've recently introduced an improvement meant to address this. Now, burning damage will only be applied at the end of the round if the opposing fleet has not already been destroyed. Now, here's where this announcement lost people, okay? And this is why Snake Eyes he's got a bruise. He's got a bruise on the very center at the top of his forehead from repeatedly banging it into a wall for the last 3 days, okay? And the reason that he has been repeatedly banging his head into a wall for the last 3 days is because the official Discord decided to riot. Okay? They decided to burn the Discord. Get it? All right? They decided to burn the Discord. The community went crazy. And then, listen, there were a few small pieces of creativity that did come out, okay? We've seen a lot of good memes. All right? We've seen some really good memes. I like that Elmo is now got an official Star Trek Fleet Command meme. I like that, okay? I also like the fact that hashtag returntheburn was so catchy. That was super catchy. Whoever came up with that, good job. I don't know who it was, but that was good, okay? But a movement began. A movement began on the official Discord. But by the way, I have the official Discord. I've got a ton of private Discords. I also am in Discords with VIPs. All right, so I'm observing you guys. I'm observing you guys in my Discord, in which, by the way, all right, I read the announcement, and believe it or not, crazy enough, even I apparently had misunderstood exactly how burning worked. All right, now not what it did. All right, but even I've taken a huge education on in the last 3 days, talking with developers, talking with VIPs, talking with coders, talking with Ripper, and trying to put together a puzzle. All right, so in the graphics room, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce you to the first graphic that we're going to introduce tonight. Okay, and let's take a look at the burning ability. Let's take a look at this slide, folks. All right, let's take a look at the slide. The burning ability has two different things that it does. First of all, it impacts officer and ship abilities. We know that, okay, that require burning to be active. Those are now able to proc, okay? So if burning is inspired, and when we take a look at GG, all right, we take a look at GG, and we say that GG has the ability, has the percentage proc rate to cause burning at the beginning of the round. Now, this is what people misunderstand about GG, okay? They say that the card says at the beginning of the round. Well, guess what, folks? Burning still is procced at the beginning of the round. I take you back to the days of Nero, when burning sucked, okay? And everybody in this game will tell you that. Everybody in this game will tell you that burning with Nero blew, all right? It blew a big one. Because you had to wait until you actually got hit. Or is it that he throws a shot? I don't remember. I think it's you getting hit. You got to wait till you actually got hit before you could inspire burning, or before you could proc burning. Okay? I think it's actually the definition in the game is to cause burning. Okay? To burn an opponent's ship. All right? Sorry. Thank you, Shinjo. Nero triggers on hitting. I couldn't remember which one it was. Either way, he sucks. Either way, he blows. Okay? Because he did not proc at the beginning of the round. All right, so here's what happens, and I want to take you go back to this slide, folks. Burning as it was before. Burning as it was before. The officer, which procs at the beginning of the round, is gonna roll its dice. Okay, 75% chance or whatever, and it can proc. Guess what? That number one category there, that is not where Nero sat. Okay, Nero did not sit there. He did not sit there. So number one with Nero, gone. All right. Number two, conditional officers check for the burning condition. If it's true, then they roll for their proc, or they proc if it's not a chance officer. But guess what? If Nero didn't proc in number one, then number two was out. Okay? Number two was out. And FYI, this is totally the way Nero's written. You guys are saying Nero's broken. Same argument that we've had in the game for 2 years. Nero has never been broken, folks. He's just always been. I'm quoted as saying this at least a dozen times on this show. All right. Nero is in fact not broken. He's just crappy. Okay. He's crappy. Okay. He works the way he's written. He does what he says he's going to do. But you got it right, Shinjo. He's just a turd. He's not a good officer. He's a great stat officer, but he's a turd on the bridge. Okay. And people have often complained about this because there are so many other officers in the game that will give you a round one buff, that'll give you a round one chance, that give you the opportunity to inspire an effect, morale, or hull breach in round one. But Nero, literally, he was the worst of those three. Of your core officers, Kirk, Gorkon, and Nero, he was the worst. Now, let's continue on. Before this modification this past week, all right, battle begins, officers, blah, 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 they fire their shots to crit, damage proc, blah, blah, blah. Everything happens. All the shots are fired. Okay? Now, battle is over. That's it. Everybody has completed their firing pattern. Everybody has mitigated their damage. Everybody has taken shield damage, and everybody's taken hull damage, and that's it, right? That's it. Everybody's done, with one exception. If the opponent's ship was burning, then at that point, 1% of starting hull, not for the round, but for the battle, 1% hull damage was directly applied to the enemy ship, and it came off, okay? It was not even visible in a battle log. You could not see it in a battle log as far as mathematical, numerical display. It just happened. 1% of hull happened. And it happened, folks, at the end of the round. You guys need to hear me. This is why Snake Eyes has a bruise on his forehead. Because the official Discord has gone absolutely bonkers, but for the wrong reasons. Giorgio did not change. Burning, Nero didn't change. Giorgio didn't change. Even burning. So people said, well, burning happens at the end and was happening at the beginning, and that's not true. Okay, so let's look back at the slide. We talked about burning before. Okay, let's talk about after Wednesday. Same thing. Number 1, officer which procs burning at the beginning of the round rolls for its proc. That would be Giorgio. That would be Giorgio. Okay? Not Nero.
That is, just to be clear, that is the only burning officer that procs at the beginning of the round.
You got it. You got it. Okay? Now, Giorgio is the only officer, by the way, all right, that can proc at the beginning of the round for burning. Now, here's the misconception. People think that burning procs at the beginning of the round, so therefore that must be when burning happens. Wrong. Okay? And P.S., it's never happened that way. When burning procs, look at the left-hand side, if burning procs, even in the battle phase with Nero, the 1% damage was not applied until after the conclusion of the battle round. So let's look at the right-hand side now, after the mechanic change. Number 2, conditional officers check for condition. If true, they roll for their proc. That is the same. So number 1 and number 2 are now the same. Except we've got Giorgio in number 1 spot. So if she procs burning, then you get the number 2 proc in the first round, and you get them the officer's proc in the second round as well. So you're almost doubling your benefit with GG as compared to Nero, which is why the community loves Georgie. Okay? That's why everybody should still be in love with Giorgio. She works. Okay? Guys, take a look at the battle round. Same thing, number 3. Battle begins. Officers which require shots to be fired, shots to critical, damage received, proc, mitigation, shield, hull, all that jazz. Okay, that happens. Guess what? The battle round also equal. Number 3 equal to number 3, before and after. Okay? Number 4, battle ends. Guess what? Equal, before and after. And here, now, finally, is your change. Not to Giorgio. Not to the Rialta. Okay? Not to an auction card you paid money for. Not to a ship that is completely free that you had the second you downloaded the game. But the burning mechanic itself. And by the way, it applies the damage at the exact same time. At the end of the battle. All right, at the end of the round. That is when the 1% is secretly applied. Except now there is a conditional statement. The conditional statement says the 1% hull damage is only applied if there will be a round 2. If there will be a round 2. Guys, and that is what was changed. That is the only thing that changed. Now, granted, it's a pretty damn big change. Okay? It's a pretty freaking huge change for some of you. Okay? For some of you. Now, if the ship does not survive the first round, you don't get the 1%. Now, this is what people are screaming about. And by the way, again, I bet you, I'm not kidding you, Snake Eyes, I bet you I've interviewed, at this point now, probably 70 to 75 players by myself. I didn't count on a survey. I didn't ask anybody else to do it. I did it myself so that I could gauge the reaction and I could ask the questions that I wanted to ask. What do you think, community? I'd like to get your feedback, so leave your comments in the section below. Like this video, and be sure to click on the subscribe button. Click the little bell notifier, too, to be notified of future content that's coming your way. That way you are always in the know. My name is UltimatDjz. This has been another Teaching Trek video. We'll see you next time. Love you, mean it. Bye-bye.